What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Saucy, and I'm back with another video. You already know what we're here for. Someone's about to catch the sauce, you dig?
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
And this time I'm bringing you guys a ball temp fade haircut tutorial, so make sure you run it up, like this video, share, and subscribe if you're new. Hey man, but you know I just can't let my boy go into 2020 looking like this, so stay tuned. Enough talking, but let's get into the video. So we just setting our ball line with our trimmers. Now we coming back with our shavers to clean it up. And with your lever open, you want to go up about a half an inch. Now you're going to set in your second guideline with your number one guard open in a flick out motion. Make sure you don't dig in, because that will create a harsh guideline. Now you're going to close your number one guard and hit that middle line between the lever open and your number one guard open. You're going to hit that middle line. You're just going to soften it. It's not going to take it out completely. You're just going to soften that line so you can come back with a zero guard and knock it off. Make sure you always brush the hair towards the opposite way that you're cutting. So if you're cutting against the grain, brush the hair down with the grain. You don't want to brush the hair the way you're cutting, because you're just going to hide the hair. This is a little technique for you to lay down the hair if it's not laying down with the brush. So now you're going to go right under your lever open and start working your way down by closing the lever little by little. So like I said, you're going to work your way down by closing the lever little by little. For this specific step, you want to make sure your clippers are zero gap. That way you don't have to worry about that ball line you created earlier. You're going to knock it down as you work your way down. That middle line you created earlier between your lever open and your number one guard open, you're going to come back with a zero guard and flick out to completely knock that middle line off. So now you have your fade coming in together, but you still have that bottom line. It looks like a ridge, but you can still clearly see it. You're going to knock that down with a 1.5. You're going to go with the grain. That way you don't create a harsh guideline. And you can use different guards depending on the length of the client's fro. So if the client has more hair on top, you can go with a bigger guard. So now we're going to comb the client's hair out, because he has a scar in the back of his head. So you want to prep the hair, that way you can see what you got to work on. And if your client has a scar in the back of his head, do not pick up the taper on the back. Do not pick it up too high, because that's just going to make the scar more noticeable, and the client's not going to appreciate that. So just keep it simple, keep it low and nice. So we already set in our first guideline, which is the ball guideline. So now we're coming with a lever open about half an inch. Now we're going to go with a number 2. Right now that purple guard is a number 2. We're going to go up about 1.5 inches. That way we have enough room to fade and still keep it low. Now we're going to go with a number 1 guard with the grain. That way we're not flicking up and creating hard guidelines. That's going to force us to pick up the taper in the back higher. So now we're going to work our way up. Now that we got the middle and everything kind of cleaned up and laid down, you're going to grab your zero gap clippers and you're going to work your way up. You're going to fully close them and just go like right to the line and just open. As you can see, I'm opening little by little. I'm knocking it down a notch. just going like right to the line. You don't want to go too high. You just want to go right at the line, and right when you get into your lever open, you want to start flicking out. You don't want to dig in, because now you're gonna have to take more steps and pick up the fade higher. Also, make sure you brush the hair down and go over it a couple times. You just don't want to hit it one time and leave some other hairs in the back that didn't get knocked down. Now we're just coming in with our half guard and doing some detail work to make that fade in the back pop out more and give you that transition you want. This is the 1.5, and now we're just doing detail work, hitting those little dark spots I see. So over on this side, you're going to take the same steps I showed you how to do earlier on the other side. So I fast forwarded it since I already showed you guys how to do it on the other side. But if you're a beginner, you can go ahead and try to guess the steps that are next. That way you can see if you're kind of getting the hang of it and understanding my method. But if there's anything I can improve on, or any ideas, you guys can drop it down in the comment section down below. So this is a step I forgot to show you guys on the other side. So what you're doing here is you're freehanding. So you get your clippers, they're fully closed, and you're just hitting those little frizzes that are sticking out. That way you don't have to do extra work and come in with a different guard and try to hit those hairs. So now I'm just cleaning up behind the ear, getting that little dark spot I see in the back of the ear. For the lineup, you just want to keep it simple. You don't want to push your client back. Just hit those little hairs. So make sure you pull the ear down and go around the ear. Keep it natural. You don't want to push in, because it's going to look awful when it goes in. So just pull the ear down. That way you don't push it back, and brush the hair down. That way the hair comes out, because if you just leave like that, you're just going to hit those little hairs. You can see. But what separates you from the rest is when you take those extra steps. So right here, you want to brush the hair down a couple of times. Make sure you get all those little hairs until nothing comes out. That way you can get a clean lineup without pushing it back. So you want to make sure that lineup is on point without pushing it back. Comb it out a couple times so you get that sharpness, because that lineup is one of the most important parts about the haircut. So same thing for the front, just tap and go. Make sure you brush the hair down, that way you can get those little hairs that are hiding. Just tap and go. Don't push the client's hairline back. Just make sure you take your time in that front lineup. Don't rush it. If the client's looking at you while you're lining him up, well, me specifically, I don't have a problem with it, but you can just tell him, close your eyes. That way no hair falls in your eyes, and just, do your thing. This is your time. Every time you go into a haircut, you want to go in confident. You don't want to go in being scared doing a certain haircut. You want to go in like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm going to snap on this haircut. Also, if you want to get that white ash, I just have a little bit of talc. I put it on top of it, like right on top of my hand. And I basically just, dip my clipper in. Just dip your clipper in, and then you tap. That's just to have a rough draft, like to where because I'm adding enhancements after these steps. So that's just, to know where exactly I'm adding enhancements. And I don't go overboard, or I don't do one side higher than another. Because enhancements can be very confusing sometimes if you don't know how to use them correctly. When you're spraying, you don't want to spray it. You don't want to spray a hard layer. You just spray a light layer. That way it doesn't look, fake, or it doesn't look too dark. So now I'm coming in with a straight razor. You want to tilt it like at a 45-degree angle and just glide it. You don't want to, you don't want to press too hard because you're gonna cut your client. So just tilt it and glide it. Take your time. Right here, I'm adding enhancements. I don't want to add too much. That way it doesn't look fake or like I OD on it. So you just want to spray a very light layer at first. And if you see it needs a little more, you can just hit it again. As you can see, when using the straight razor, you always want to pull on the part you're using it. You don't just want to use it straight like that, because that would easily get you to cut a client. So you just want to pull everywhere you're using it. Pull and then just glide it, and then just just glide the straight razor. Don't press too much, especially on near the ears. Just take your time and be careful. As you can see right there, I'm pulling on the skin. I'm just gliding. It's gonna come together. Just take your time. So right here, we're just gonna clean up the mustache. You gotta know your clients. I know my client, he doesn't have a, if you're not gonna use a open lever on every client, because every mustache is a different length. So I already know what my client gets. So it's just a lever open, and right here, I'm just same thing. I'm just gliding it. You can also use water if your client here is very hard. You can use water. You can use shaving gel. That way it doesn't hit the client. You don't cut him. But my client's hair is very light, so I'm just doing a dry shave. So right here I'm using Cantoon. It's like a mousse. You want to rub it in, get it in your client's hair. That when you start sponging it, it just defines the curls and it looks real nice and it feels nice. It feels nice on the client's hair. So now we're just sponging the top. When you're sponging it, you don't want to go in every direction. You just want to go in one simple direction. Keep it at that same direction. You don't want to go all over the head too. You want to do like section by section. You want to start off in the front, do the right side, left side, go to the back, same thing. It's like little corners. You just gotta do side, right side. Don't go all over the hair, because it's not gonna look that good.
He needs some milk.
Alright, YouTube, this is the haircut. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, turn your post bell notification on, and stay tuned to the next video. Make sure you stay tuned. All 2020, you already know, straight bangers. It's your boy Saucy, and I'm out.